Something best discussed at home with your first teacher, your parents. And so I'm proud of the fact that our school board stood strong and said, we're not going to do flags. We're also not going to be doing pronouns anymore. And so in all the email sign-offs that you're going to be seeing from Kettle Moraine faculty, that's not going to be included. Because that too speaks to a social agenda when in fact we should be addressing only fact. Because school, education should be about fact. And we need to stress classical education, reading, writing, arithmetic. This is where Wisconsin schools are failing our children. This is why we have employers complaining all the time that there are kids who can't do 10% of 100 or read a ruler. Additionally, and I know that the kids are a little young for this, but we're going to be putting vocational trades education into every K-12 school district in Wisconsin, and we will assure that no school district can boot their school resource officers, because it's important that our young people understand that law enforcement is there to protect them and is on their side. Yeah, go.
I haven't seen much pushback as far as Tony Evers trying to take credit for the budget surplus. And I suppose that's more for the general, but I have a question. What do you think he's going to do? What do you think Evers is going to do with all the Biden COVID money? Who's he going to hand that out to?
He already has handed out a ton of it, far more than other states. Already, Tony Evers has. He's just going around making it rain on his priorities. You know, the rural task force, and then, you know, this woke new Office of Environmental Justice that he has created. He has prioritized, you know, spending projects that speak to his liberal base. My guess is just to simply appease them in advance of what he will have to do in the general. Because in the general, facing somebody like me, you know, he's literally up against a K-12 public school mom. Like, his worst nightmare. There's a reason that the Evers team has run 3 statewide negative ads against me in my own primary. It's because they want anybody but me. Like, they're a hard pass on me as their opponent here, because I'm the biggest contrast to him. I'm also the one who's going to be able to cut him off at his knees when it comes to education. My kids were the ones who got locked out. And so you're seeing him go and spend that money on lots of projects in advance of the general election. And if you take a look at other governors' spending of their COVID dollars, their federal dollars, he has spent a considerable percentage more than those other governors, much sooner. And it's basically so he can pander, because he knows he's going to need to somehow run to the middle, because the stuff I'm talking about is all kitchen table common sense. I mean, you name me a Democrat who's like, yes, I totally love inflation. This is great. Thanks, Tony. Or a Democrat who's like, you know what? I love skyrocketing violent crime. It's my favorite. Thanks, Tony. Or, you know what? I love schools that stink and are failing my kids. And I love it that you rigged the grade cards. Thanks, Tony. Like, he knows that the stuff that we're talking about here is just common sense, you know, everybody, everyday stuff. And so he's going to have to come a little bit closer to where we are. And so he's spent a ton of that money. And a lot on municipal projects. Yeah, go ahead.
So as we've had Roe versus Wade overturned, and we have our abortion laws are now in place from 1849, and that's all the commercials. What are we looking to do to strengthen and ensure that we have, you know, I survived Roe versus Wade. I'm pretty excited about that. But there's a whole generation of people that didn't. So how do we preserve our children?
Yeah. Well, I think it's important that we talk about it in the right context. I was overjoyed when the Dobbs decision came down. I spent my adult life fighting Roe, because I believe that somebody has to fight for the meekest and the littlest among us. Somebody has to be their voice. Babies can't buy lobbyists. And so it falls on, you know, us, the adults, the moms and dads of the world to fight, the girls of the world to fight for those babies. And so I was thrilled. But now it falls on us to speak with empathy and compassion. And the good news is I can speak with empathy, not just sympathy, but actual empathy. You know, I've had 2 babies. I've been pregnant. You know, I've taken pregnancy tests. I get it. Tony Evers, you know, I'm not